Your plan said wait, and somewhere between that thought and the next one, your hand is already on the mouse. You didn't decide to click, you watched yourself click. The strangest part is how quiet it was. No argument, no debate, no moment where you weighed anything. The order was just there. Look at what actually happened. Your body moved first, and your reasoning arrived a second later, carrying a story about why the trade made sense. Daniel Kahneman gave that split a name in Thinking Fast and Slow. A fast system that reacts, and a slow one that reasons. And the fast one is always first. That's why impulsive entries never feel impulsive from the inside. They feel urgent. And urgency is very good at dressing up as opportunity. The last 2 workouts trained which trades belong to you. The gate that keeps you out of the chases. The green light that gets you into your own setups. Both assume you're still thinking. Today, we train what to do when you're not, when the impulse has already fired and your hand is already moving. Welcome back to the Calm Lucro channel. This is your psychology mindset workout for traders, and today's workout is impulse interruption breathing, a physical break you pull in the 2 seconds between the urge and the click. The drill has a name and a number, and I want you to remember both. The 4-2-6 interrupt. Here's why breathing, of all things. When pressure hits, your body runs a stress response you never authorized. Heart rate up, breathing shallow, attention narrowing to the very next tick. Almost none of that is under your control. Breathing is the exception. It's the one part of that cascade you can drive on purpose, a handle on a door you otherwise can't reach. And honestly, it isn't the breathing that calms you, it's the ratio. A long exhale is your body's own brake pedal. Stretch the out-breath past the in-breath, and your heart rate follows it down. Breathe in fast and hard, and you press the accelerator instead. And this isn't folklore. In 2023, Stanford researchers published a month-long controlled study in Cell Reports Medicine, comparing breathing patterns against mindfulness meditation. And the exhale-focused pattern came out ahead on both arousal and mood, at 5 minutes a day. Our drill is that same family, compressed into one cycle you can run at the desk. That's also why we count. Without a count, a stressed trader pulls in one big, sharp inhale, calls it a deep breath, and ends up more activated than before. And let me be honest about this drill. It won't make the urge disappear. Nothing does. What it buys you is 15 seconds of clear thinking. And that's enough, because an impulse has a peak, and the peak passes. So, if this kind of content helps you, take a second to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so the next lessons reach you the moment they go live. And feel free to share in the comments which topics you would like us to explore in future videos. And if you want to support the channel on a deeper level, consider becoming a member to unlock exclusive content and help keep these lessons coming. You'll also find links to our trusted partners in the description below. Using them costs you nothing, and it directly helps the channel keep producing free educational content like this. Let's walk through the steps. Step 1 is the catch, and you catch it in your body, not in your head. By the time you have a thought about the trade, you're already late. So pick your tell now while you're calm. For most traders, it's the hand leaving the keyboard for the mouse. For others, the chest tightening or leaning in toward the screen. One tell. Write it down. That's your alarm. Step 2 is hands off, and this is the step everyone skips. The moment the alarm goes off, you take your hand off the mouse and put it flat on the desk. Not metaphorically, physically. An impulse needs a delivery system, and right now, your hand is it. Break the circuit at the hand, and everything after it becomes optional. Step 3 is the breath, and here are the numbers. In through your nose for a count of 4, hold it gently for 2, then out through your mouth for a count of 6. Slow and steady, like you're breathing through a straw. 4 in, 2 hold, 6 out. 1 cycle, 12 seconds. In the heat of the moment, 1 cycle is all you run. Step 4 is ground and widen. As the exhale finishes, put your attention on one physical point. Your feet on the floor, your palms on the desk, just long enough to notice it. Then look back at the chart on your normal time frame, not the fast one. Impulses live on the 1-minute chart. They rarely survive a zoom out. Step 5 is one question, and only one. Is this trade on my plan? Yes or no? Not, is it a good idea? Not, does it feel right? On the plan or not? If the answer is yes, the setup is still there 15 seconds later, and you take it with the 3, 2, 1 countdown from last workout. If it's no, your hand stays on the desk. Let's be clear about the lane. What counts as a valid setup belongs to your method and the technical analysis course. How big you trade belongs to your risk plan. This workout covers one thing, the gap between the urge and the button. Mark Douglas built a whole book around that gap. His argument in Trading in the Zone is that the trader's real work isn't predicting the market, it's staying inside his own rules while the market moves. And here's the line to carry out of today. The exhale is the break. And separate this from the workouts around it. They sound alike, and they're not. This one is an emergency break. In the moment, hand already moving. The check-in we train next is a scan you run before the session starts. The reset protocol, later in the series, brings you back to baseline after you're already activated. Different tools, different moments. Now, let's see it in real situations. Imagine a slow morning. 40 minutes of watching, nothing clean, and boredom starts doing what boredom does. Then a move forms that's almost your setup. Almost. And you feel the pull to call it close enough. That pull is the alarm. Hand off the mouse, 4, 2, 6. Feet on the floor, zoom out. Then the question, on my plan? Yes or no? Almost is a no. The market doesn't owe you a trade for the time you spent watching it. Here's a different one, and it isn't about entries at all. You're already in a position. Price is walking toward your stop, and you catch yourself reaching to drag it. Just a little, just this once, just to give it room. Same alarm, same drill. Hand off the mouse, one full cycle, then ask it plainly. Is moving this stop on my plan? It never is. Tom Haugard puts this at the center of Best Loser Wins. The urge to avoid a small, certain loss is completely normal, and normal is exactly what loses. That stop was placed by a calm version of you. So how do you practice this starting today? Before you open the platform, run 3 cycles of 4, 2, 6 while nothing is happening. 36 seconds, the whole warm-up. You're not calming down. You're already calm. You're installing the pattern cold, so it's available hot. It's a point Brett Steenbarger returns to in The Daily Trading Coach. New behavior gets rehearsed in the quiet, not discovered in the storm. During the session, the rule is simple. Anytime your hand moves before your plan does, that's one cycle. Every time. Not when it feels bad enough. Every time. This drill only becomes automatic once it's boring, and it only gets boring through repetition. Your exercise for this week is simple. Keep a tally on paper. 1 mark every time you run the interrupt. At the end of the week, count the marks, then count how many of those urges turned out to be valid setups you took anyway. For most traders, that second number is small, and seeing it in your own handwriting beats anything I could say here. Over the weeks, the gap starts to widen. The urge still shows up, it always does, but it stops reaching the mouse, and you stop being the thing that delivers it to the market. Next workout, we move earlier in the timeline, to the scan you run before the session begins. Stay focused, stay steady, and I'll see you in the next workout. So, trader, if this video brought you more clarity, like it, subscribe, and turn on notifications so the next lessons reach you. And tell me in the comments what you want me to cover next. And if you want to go deeper, you can become a member of the Com Lucro Trader community right here on YouTube. It unlocks exclusive content, early access, and extra tools for your development, while directly supporting the channel. You'll also find our trusted partners linked in the description. Using those links costs you nothing and helps us keep producing this kind of educational content. And remember, the mission of the Com Lucro channel is simple. We help traders build clarity, confidence, and structure, so every decision is made with discipline and intention. Here you'll find complete courses built as a true trading masterclass. Liquidity, market structure, higher time frame analysis, and supply and demand. Always focused on reading price and executing with a professional mindset. We also cover trading psychology, risk management, and long-term consistency. Because trading isn't just about charts, It's about mindset, discipline, and execution over time. Our main courses include smart money concepts, ICT, technical analysis, trading psychology, and Wyckoff. Alongside that, we share insights from respected traders whose work helps you understand how markets really behave. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.